Hello, hello, hello! How are you guys doing today? I'm wearing my new aloe coat, but it is like so puffy. It's so puffy out here. It's really, really comfy, but I have to tell you, I'm kind of afraid. So I made this cup of coffee, and it came right to the top, and I'm kind of like afraid to I'm gonna spill it on this coat. I'm very protective of this coat because I just got it. And I'm like, I don't want to get anything on it. It's so, look at it. It's like, I'm like sinking in my coat. Here, that should be my thumbnail. I'm like sinking in this coat. It's so comfy. This is the coat from Aloe that I got. Yeah. It's so, I might have to go inside and change this coat, but we'll leave it on for a little while. I have a Cure t-shirt on too. I have been filming videos like crazy today. I've been filming videos like crazy. I actually have my phone right in front of me and I am uploading oh, you know what? I didn't bring my I did bring my reading glasses out here with me. I am uploading a video as we speak. I'm uploading my drama video for tomorrow. It is currently, it's really late for me to vlog. It's 8:14. And I have been filming videos like all day long. I texted Alex. Alex got home a little early today, and I was like, what time do you think you're going to be home? And he was like, I probably won't be home before like, 5 or 5:30. And I was like, okay. And he ended up getting home probably like an hour before that. And I was filming videos like crazy. I filmed today. Well, hold on a second. Let me light these candles. I brought the right lighter with me today so I could get into the one candle. I thought these candles would probably be all the way done by now, but they're not. They're not. So the one video that I really, really wanted to make sure that I got up today was the booktube video, which was the James Patterson announcement video, because I wanted to make sure. Here it is. This is the candle. This one's at like the very, very end. I don't know if you can see, but I had to bring this lighter to light this. The one video that I wanted to make sure I got filmed today was the James Patterson read-along video, which probably only like 5 people read along with me. But I wanted to, I should do like a nice little thumbnail. I never just do like a nice thumbnail. Anyway, I won't remember where I always look through my vlog. I'm like, where did I say I was going to put that thumbnail? I'll never remember that. But anyway, I wanted to get the James Patterson read-along announcement video up in case people want to read the James Patterson books with me. I didn't want to do it like on the 10th of January because then it's kind of like late. And if people don't get started right away in January and they get like 2 or 3 books behind, then they just might be like, you know what, I'm just not going to do this. So I wanted to make sure I had it up. They're real easy to get. I mean, you can get them at Goodwill or Thrift Books or Amazon, and they're all on Audible. So the read along, the whole video, and explains like the history of it and all kind of stuff. But it just announced that for 2025, I'm doing a James Patterson read-along, which is basically every month we're reading 3 books, or I'm reading 3 books. If you want to read them with me, you can. So the first 3 books are Along Came a Spider, Kiss the Girls, and Jack and Jill. And so like every month there'll be 3 books, which means by November, now there's different like series and spinoffs that Alex Cross, so they're all the Alex Cross novels that Alex Cross has appeared in other books, but the main canon series of Alex Cross, there's 33 books. The 34th book comes out next November. So by November, we'll have read all the books in the series, and then when the book comes out, we'll read the 34th book, and then we'll be completely caught up with the Alex Cross series. I mean, I'm really excited about this. This is probably like one of my, I wouldn't even call it like a goal or anything, but like one of the things about 2025 that I'm really, really excited about. So I wanted to make sure that I got that video up. That was really, to be honest with you, I'm trying to think of the other, oh, my Sister Wives video, because I watched Sister Wives last night and I took notes. So that, the booktube video and my Sister Wives video was really the only videos that I was like super concerned that I got filmed. In fact, when I was like filming the Sister Wives, I don't know which one I did first. I think I did the Sister Wives and then the booktube video. I filmed it in that order. But when I got those videos like filmed, I was on the second one or whatever, I was like, I think I'm just going to stop after this and just do a vlog. Like, I was just like, you know what? I was wanting to get all these videos up before the end of the year, but they can wait till after the new year as well. I wanted to do like my top 10 TV shows of 2024 on my Peter Watches TV channel. I pre-filmed a video for my Peter Watches TV channel for tomorrow, and I pre-filmed a drama video. I might pre-film some other videos. I wanted to do the review of the orange bread from Patterson. I didn't get to that today. The pecans can wait, but the bread, it probably has maybe like, I'm gonna put it in the fridge or the freezer and like try to keep it until, you know, New Year's Day or the day after, depending on when I film. But that probably has a life of like, probably 4 or 5 days, I would think, you know? I mean, it's probably good till then. So I still have a couple days I can make that video. So I didn't get the reviews done today, but that can, you know, go into January. But I made a list of like, my tooth has been hurting me. I don't know what's going on. My dentist has wanted me to get my wisdom teeth out for like the last 30 years. They're always like, every person I've ever gone to has always been like, I mean, you probably should have them out, but like, it's not like a necessity. And they're still saying that to me. If you tell me it's not a necessity, then I'm not going to get it done. And I don't really want to get my wisdom teeth taken out. And so, but every once in a while, I feel like one of them, like in that back, this side is moving. And so it kind of like hurts my teeth. It kind of feels like my teeth is moving a little bit. I'm wondering if that's why. I've noticed I've been lisping a little bit more lately. And I'm wondering if that's kind of why remember I talked about that like a week ago. I'm wondering if that's why I've been lisping a little bit more lately, is because my teeth are moving a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, dental hygienists out there, let me know in the comment section below. But, my tongue is like totally wavering over this tooth. It's just weird. It's like, it feels different than it did before. It's not in pain, or it's just, well, I mean, it just feels weird. I don't know how to explain it. That side kind of hurts, but it's kind of like I constantly am like, what is going on with that tooth? So, but anyway, I wanted to make a video like for my Peter Watches TV channel. I wanted to do like my top true crime shows of the year, and I also wanted to do the top 10 shows for the year. But that's another video that can wait till 2024 or 2025. It can wait till the new year happens. As long as I make that in the next week, I think it's fine. I also wanted to do my top 10 books on BookTube, because I do that video almost every year. Maybe I didn't do it last year, but I think I've done it most years. And so I wanted to do that video as well. And so those were 2 videos, but that can also wait until the first week of January. And then there was another video I wanted to do. I wanted to do like my top 10 favorite things I reviewed in 2025. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. But literally on every one of my channels, I have like 10 plus videos. I mean, my Peter Watches TV channel, I probably have 20 videos over there that I want to make of shows that I've watched. That was one of the reasons why for tomorrow I reviewed a show that I just watched, because I was like, I've got to make these videos like while it's still in my head, or if a couple weeks go by, I just am like, what's the point of making the video? I don't really remember that much about it. And then I have to kind of go in and, you know, like look at my notes and stuff. But a lot of these shows I don't take notes on, I just watch them. So anyway, but I ended up making the Sister Wives video. It was like 40 minutes long today. And then I ended up making the BookTube video. I think I did them in that order. And then when I came down and I was rendering those, I was like, okay, well, there was this drama video that I wanted to do. So I did a drama video sitting at my computer. Oh my God, the lighting is so bad on it. It's so bad. I just posted it before I came out here, probably like 15 minutes ago. And is that video? Where is it at? Oh my God, did it just get uploaded that quickly? It did. It's processing. But I did a drama video, and then there was a drama video that I wanted to do for tomorrow. Like, I wanted to do, like, the top 10 pop culture stories of 2024. And I had made a list, but then I started going in and reading articles about it. So I kind of did a spin on that. So, anyway, but I filmed the drama. I came down here, and while those videos were rendering, I filmed the drama video. No, Alex had come out before that. And so, what other video did I film? No, right before, Alex texted me and said he was on his way home. So, I like pulled all the stuff that I had bought yesterday, and I did a video like kind of showing what outfit I'm trying to put together for the New Year's wedding tomorrow. I have like 3 different outfits. And now it's kind of like, okay, so at first, I thought everybody was wearing like, all the men were wearing like black suits and ties. I just thought that was kind of like a given. Now that Alex has like talked to some people, that's not necessarily the case. A lot of people are doing variations, and apparently the bride and groom don't really care. And so it's like, nobody's like dressing down. Everybody's dressing up, dressy, but like people are doing variations. Some people are wearing sweaters with like shirts underneath it and like sport coats. That's kind of what my idea was going to be, to wear like a sweater with like a sport coat over it and like a white shirt over it, and, you know, like the really cute shoes and stuff like that, kind of stylish. So there's a lot of different variations. So now I don't really know what to do. I pulled out of the closet last night these like blue velvet pants that I have. I think I got them for New Year's, like years and years and years ago. Something that Melissa and Jason and I went to. I was kind of surprised they fit. They're a little baggy on me, but they're not too bad. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll wear those with the black sweater, the white shirt, and then a black sport coat over it. I thought that might kind of look, you know, kind of a little nice, a little stylish. I don't know. I'm going to try some different outfit ideas tonight, and then have those ready for tomorrow. Okay, this video is up. I can't believe all of my videos are ready for tomorrow and everything. So let's check the weather. It's not too cold out today. It's 47 and cloudy right now. Let's see what the temperature tomorrow will have a lot to do with what I wear too. Tomorrow's going to be 47 for high and rainy. And then Wednesday, 31, 35, 30, 25, 26. Oh, it's going to get real cold. Oh, 16, 15. I think I talked about this last night. Oh, 14 degrees on the 11th. So, I may, tonight, after I get done with this vlog, I'm going to render it and get it uploaded. But after this vlog tonight, once I've relaxed a little bit and stuff, I'm thinking about filming my vlog tonight, like sitting out here at like midnight or whatever. This is actually my first cup of coffee today. I just made it. I was sent this cup. And this is actually, I'm like halfway through the Aldi advent calendar that I was sent. And this is roasted chestnut. And I'm like halfway through those coffees. So I'm still drinking Christmas coffees. But I think what I might do, especially since it's not too bad out here tonight, because I was going to do it with a drama video, but I already got my drama video filmed for tomorrow. I sat at the computer and did it. I think the lighting's actually better on the second one than the first one because it was dark. Outside, the light wasn't coming in through the window. I'm thinking about sitting out here like at midnight or 12:30 and doing my vlog for tomorrow so that all of that is already ready to go. So that tomorrow I can just like be with Alex and get ready for the wedding and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know. That way I'll definitely have a vlog up because I don't want to be rushed and stuff and then be like, oh, I didn't get a vlog up. So I'm kind of worried about that. And so I don't want to be like super rushed, you know, getting stuff done and getting stuff ready. I don't plan on like filming any videos tomorrow except for my vlog. But then I was going to have to get up early to film my vlog. The problem is not the filming of the vlog. I mean, I could get up and make a 20-minute vlog if I wanted to do that. I also kind of don't want to like end the year on a 20-minute vlog. I'd like to kind of like reflect on the last year and do all that kind of stuff. And so for me, it's very peaceful to sit out here at night. And so I thought, I've only got one episode left until season 3 of The Head. And I don't think I'm going to start season 3 of The Head. So last night I watched like 3 episodes of The Head. I love it. The show is so good. I have 1 episode left. I have episode 6. And then it goes into season 3. Season 3 only has 2 episodes out so far. I think I'm going to wait until all 6 episodes are out of season 3 and then watch season 3. So tonight, I don't have tons of shows to watch unless I start something new. The new Harlan Coben show comes out on Netflix on January 1st, by the way. I think it's called The Stranger or something like that. But anyway, so I was like, well, maybe I'll just sit out here later and vlog, you know, and make a cup of tea or coffee or whatever. Yeah, this is my first cup of coffee for today. Actually, I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I said, I think online, because every once in a while, somebody commented about my anxiety and they said something about the coffee on there. I think there's this misconception about, like, my coffee intake. So we'll get to that in just a second. But I opened a Diet Dr. Pepper when I was filming I think it was my second drama video that I did. It was either my first or my second drama video. I opened a Diet Dr. Pepper, and then, like, when I was done with it, I moved it into the kitchen, and I didn't even, like, haven't even poured the rest of it from the can in there. I put the can in the refrigerator. I don't drink as much caffeine as I think that. I don't know that it really matters, but I was talking to a friend of mine about, like, they're stopping drinking caffeine. And I said, I have, like, so cut down on the caffeine that I drank. You know, it's interesting because, you know, back in the day, I would get up and I would go to Starbucks and I would get, like, a venti iced coffee, sometimes a Trenta iced coffee, and then I would drink it throughout the day. And then maybe have, like, another cup of coffee in the evening if I went to a meeting or something like that. When I go to meetings, I do drink caffeine. Because, like, Tanya and I usually get a coffee on the way, my sponsor or I, and then I'll have a cup of coffee at the meeting as well. And that's it. But in the evenings, like, I might have a cup of coffee, but usually I drink herb tea or water late at night when I'm watching my shows. I've had that 12 case of Diet Dr. Pepper in there for, like, 3 weeks now, and it may be longer than that. I don't know. I hardly ever like have a soda anymore. It's so weird that I hardly have a soda. But I was talking to my friend last night. I said, because back in the day when I worked in treatment, I would drink, I had so much coffee. I can remember on the way to work, stopping at the gas station, and I would get like a 24 ounce of coffee, like at the gas station. I love gas station coffee. And then I would, and got the newspaper for the crossword. And then when I got to work, I would always like, I was typically the first one there, which I know is like so crazy to think, but I was. And in the coffee room, I would always make like a pot of coffee. Like I was always the one that made the coffee there. And so I would make a pot of coffee. And then, you know, throughout the day, I can remember like at probably having like my coffee that I got in the morning plus another cup of coffee in the, you know, in the morning. And then like going into groups and stuff like that, I would always have a cup of coffee. And then like during clinical meetings, I'd have a cup of coffee. I mean, probably 3 or 4 cups of coffee in the morning, like before, I'm talking before like 1. And then we would go get lunch somewhere, like Subway or Einstein Bagels or whatever, and I'd always get like a regular Diet Coke. And so I was drinking that, and then in the evening I would drink coffee too. I drank so much caffeine back in the day. And I don't really like, it's so many times when I come to vlog, like I'll make a cup of coffee. Do you guys notice this? Like, I'll say I just made a cup of coffee, and then I hardly ever pick up the cup throughout the vlog. Like, I'll be done with my vlog, and I'll like look at the cup, and I'll be like, that was a waste of a cup of coffee. And I hardly ever like heat it up. I just take it inside, you know. The only reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people have been like, well, maybe your anxiety is from my anxiety is not from caffeine. It's not. I don't drink enough caffeine for it to be that way. And I haven't drank that much caffeine in years and years and years. I actually have a pretty good, it's interesting, like, when we go on vacation, like if we're on a beach or by a pool or something like that, I'll have like some Diet Cokes or whatever. I can like kind of tell when I've had enough caffeine. Like I can kind of tell a little bit. And I'll just stop. Like it's been a long time since I've drank a lot of caffeine. It's probably been like, well, maybe, I don't know when it was, but probably been at somebody's house and stayed up late drinking coffee or something like that. But, you know, part of it for me is that I want to be able to go to bed in the morning. I'm very aware of that, so I don't. But I was telling my friend, like, and then, oh, I know when it was that I quit drinking caffeine for 30 days. I totally have forgotten when this was. I was trying to, like, figure it out. And it must have been the same time that I did the raw foods diet. Because when I did the raw foods diet, I don't think I drank any caffeine during that. Although that doesn't feel like the right timing to me. Maybe it was the year before that. I feel like it was before I was on YouTube. The reason I remember it was around okay, so the raw foods diet I did in November. That's why I was trying to kind of connect the two. The reason why I know that I stopped drinking caffeine for like a month in November was because it was during the time that Tanya's son Nick was stationed in Okinawa. And because he was in the Marines, and he came home for Thanksgiving. That was such a cool year that they came home. He was kind of under a sad situation. Somebody like had passed away, and so his entire, whatever that's called, I don't know, troop or whatever, came home. Well, they had to book flights at the very last minute for Thanksgiving, and so they like couldn't go like all over the place, and so they all came to Indiana for this person's funeral and all this kind of stuff. And so Tanya housed. This is just so crazy to me. She housed like, I'm trying to think of how many it was. It was probably like 15 or 20 Marines in her house. And then, because it was Thanksgiving, and everybody, like all the hotels were booked around here and stuff, like several of the families that lived in Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, because this was like one of the only chances they would get to see their kids in like a couple years because they were stationed overseas, they came in, and Tanya hosted this huge Thanksgiving for all these Marines and their families. It was so cool. Well, the night that they all got in, Tanya, like, they were like playing ping pong and playing this and whatever, and Tanya was calling me, and she was like, you gotta come over here, like, this is so much fun, and blah, 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 whatever. So I went over there, and I remember like we were in the kitchen, and they were in the garage, and they were playing, what were they playing? Like, oh, I can't remember. But anyway, so Tanya was like, do you want a Diet Coke? And she knew I hadn't had a Diet Coke in forever, and I was like, okay. She goes, well, I said, I don't want a whole Diet Coke. And I was like, and she was like, okay. She's like, do you want to split a Diet Coke? And so we like split a Diet Coke, and I remember, oh my God, that Diet Coke on ice tasted so good. That was like one of the best Diet Cokes like I had ever had in my entire life. And I can remember she and I could see us like standing in her kitchen, all the lights were off. There was like, I mean, it was so crazy. There was like, Tanya used to have this whole big hot tub out on her back patio. There was like, I don't know, like 5 Marines in the hot tub. There was like 6 or 7 like on the floor in the living room, and they were like all watching some movie in their pajamas. And then there was like other ones in her other living room watching a movie on the other big screen in there. And then they were like in the garage. They were playing ping pong in the garage. I mean, it just was such a cool Thanksgiving, and I still look back on that. I mean, that just was amazing that she did. And the families were so thankful to her. They're like, we wouldn't have got to see our kids if it hadn't been for you hosting. I mean, she like literally, like, people were sleeping on her living room floor because she ran out of space, you know. She had every bedroom, like, you know. Anyway, so that was a really sweet thing she did. But that was the last time that, like, I stopped drinking caffeine. And I was telling my friend, I said I felt really good not drinking caffeine, you know, for like, I don't know if I made it 30 days, but I think I did. I felt really good not drinking any caffeine. I think that's the last time that I stopped drinking caffeine at all. So I mean, I think we know caffeine's not great for us, right? But, you know, like, when you've been sober 30 years and, you know, I mean, like, I'm on a weight loss journey, so it's not like I can eat, like, all the junk in the world and all this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, a cup of coffee is, you know. But anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, but most of the time, see, I'm trying to drink this because most of the time I make a cup of coffee and then I don't even drink it. Okay, so back to this. So I filmed the BookTube video and the Sister Wives video, and then I came downstairs, I was rendering those. And no, Alex was coming home, so I filmed my outfit for the New Year's wedding tomorrow. I've still, like, I just showed the shirts I bought, basically. I've got to figure out, get the outfits ready, and I want to try them on so I know which ones are the most comfortable so I can just be ready to go. Like, I don't want to wait till you know what I'm saying? Till the moment that I have to get ready. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to know this is what I'm going to wear. I think I'd have it narrowed down to 2 things. I'm either going to just wear, like, a black suit with a white shirt and a black tie, or I'm going to wear the black sweater with the white shirt over it. It'll kind of depend. Alex is still reaching out to ask, like, some of his friends, like, what their husbands are wearing, because if their husbands are dressing down a little bit, then I will, like, I'm not going to, I mean, it said tuxedos on the thing. I think that's more for, like, people that are, like, you know, like, mother of the bride, father of the bride, and stuff like that. So, anyway, that'll be fun. His friend that's getting married, I've only met her like a couple of times. Like, he used to dance with her way, way, way back in the day. So, I don't know if you guys, I've told this before, but Alex used to dance for the Fever, the women's basketball team. So when Alex was in high school and in, like, college, his job was that he was a dancer for the Fever basketball team. Like, they would have, like, the dancers come out and they did, like, hip-hop routines and stuff like that. So that was, like, his job. So Alex has a lot of friends through the years that he's met. Like, a lot of his friends from back in the day, like high school and college, were, like, Colts cheerleaders, Indianapolis Colts football team, Colts cheerleaders, Pacers, Pacemates. They're all, like, dancers. He has, like, a lot of friends that are dancers, and that's how he knows her. I've only met her a couple times, because by the time that we started dating, if we saw her out, like, he'd be like, oh, this is my friend, blah, 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 whatever. So I met her a couple times, but I don't know her that well, so this is, like, I'm kind of, like, truly the plus one in this situation, so I don't think anybody's going to be looking at what Peter Monn is wearing. That being said, it's also still, I'm going to be respectful of what their wishes are for I mean, it's their wedding, you know? So I'm excited about that. That'll be really, really fun tomorrow. But like I said, I just want to make sure that I have, like, everything done so I don't, like, tomorrow I can just relax. It was really nice having everything done for Christmas Eve, and then just being able, like, we went to brunch. That was really fun. I just want another day like that for tomorrow, you know? And then New Year's Day, I don't know. I will definitely vlog on New Year's Day, but I don't know if I'll film videos. You know, if I get up and I feel like I just want to bang out some videos, then I will. If I don't, then I'll just take the day and I'll just vlog and then get back to stuff on the second. But let's kind of see how it plays out. But anyway, so I filmed the outfit video, and then Alex came home. And then when he came home, he went upstairs. I said, do you want to be downstairs or upstairs? And he was like, I'd rather just, like, lay in bed for a little bit. I said, okay. I said, do you care if I film a video down here? He was like, no, not at all. So I filmed the drama video, rendered it, and uploaded it while I was filming. Oh, then I filmed my Peter Watches TV video for tomorrow and a drama video. I mean, I literally just, like, went through them like that and was uploading while I was filming and uploading, filming and uploading and filming. Got all those videos. So all the videos are now uploaded. They're just not all posted. All my videos for today, except for, yeah, all my videos for today are posted, except for the vlog. So, and then I've got videos for tomorrow going up. So I was pretty productive today. It felt good being productive, you know? I feel like it was hard. Oh God, this was so weird. When I sat down, was it my Sister Wives video that I filmed first? It must have been I think I filmed my Sister Wives video first because I was like, I wanted to see how long it went for the battery. we all know the battery dies, right? And it was at like 40 minutes. And so I was like, I think I can fit the booktube video on here as well. So I think I filmed that one first. But when I sat down on the bed to film the video, I mean, it's been what? Since like, okay, it's Monday. So it's been like Thursday since I sat on the bed and filmed videos. Was it Thursday or Friday? I don't even remember. It's been a while since I filmed videos. And I was like, it felt weird. It's like when we go on vacation and I come back and film, like I'm really thinking about in 2025, like returning to the chair and bringing out the ring light and stuff like that. People ask for it all the time, and for like my drama videos, and I haven't done it for so long. I'd like to have an area for my drama videos. If the basement was done, I would, you know, do all that kind of stuff. I was talking to my mom's friend Susie. Susie called me today, my Aunt Susie. And she was like, how's the house renovations coming? I just started laughing. I said, girl, this is the year. I said, we're getting it done this year. So anyway, she was telling me her, anyway, we had such a great talk. But anyway, so she was like asking me like what we're going to do first and stuff. I was like, this is the year we're doing the basement first and then moving up from there. If the basement was done, then I would have a filming place downstairs. So I am excited about when we get the basement done, because then I mean, I could have a filming place down there, but it's just so bare bones, you know? I like filming in front of the computer. The problem is, it's weird. Like, I'm almost kind of a little sassier when I film in front of the computer. I don't know why. Maybe it's just sitting there. But when the lighting is so bad during the day. At night, it's not horrible, but during the day, it's so bad. People say to me all the time, they're like, your camera goes in and out of focus. Every camera, I've had the Sony, now I have the Canon G7X. The only camera that does not go out of focus is the iPhone camera. So I don't know, maybe I should just start filming on my iPhone instead of this camera stuff. But anyway, so I got all the videos up, posted, or got the videos for today posted, uploading the other videos. All I have to do is get them ready so I can post them tomorrow, and then get this vlog rendered and then uploaded so I can post it tonight. And then I'll probably come out here at like 12:30 or 1 and film another vlog. And I'm actually really excited about that, because I want to kind of do a vlog just kind of like looking back on the last year and everything that's happened and stuff like that. But I don't want to get too sad about stuff. Yesterday Alex and I were talking about, like, you know, it's been 5 years since PP passed away, and yesterday was exactly 2 months since Boo Radley passed away. Yeah, 2 months was yesterday since Boo Radley passed away. And we were just like, you know, talking about the dogs. I got real sad. I just got really, really sad, you know, I don't know, it's just like some days it hits me and some days it doesn't. Some days it's not hard at all. When I'm filming, like, I don't really think much about it, in all honesty, you know? Anxiety update. I took a nap last night, and I woke up from my nap and I did feel like shaky, and today I did too. So I don't know, somebody anyway, well, I've like been writing down suggestions that people have said and taking some of those and whatever. I don't feel shaky now. I feel good now. But kind of when I get like into towards the end of filming, I don't know if like maybe it's just like one after. I mean, I literally from like, what time did I start filming? Like 2 o'clock until what, like 8? I was just nonstop talking. I think sometimes that causes me to have a headache, because it's just like I'm listening to myself talk for so long. I mean, it probably drives you guys crazy too. But so, oh, by the way, the 3.5 hour vlog will not be happening before New Year's, but maybe sometime this week. We'll see. It'll happen when it happens. It'll just happen naturally. One day I'll just wake up and be like, okay, today I'm going to do the 3.5 hour vlog. But anyway, I did take a leave right before I like made this cup of coffee and came out here, because it was like my head was like hurting a little bit. But so this morning I felt less shaky than when I woke up last night. I don't know what it is. But, so last night, okay, so anyway, all the videos and stuff like that, I feel prepared. Just have to, like, get the outfits ready for the wedding tomorrow night and all kind of stuff, which that'll take me 10 minutes to try on stuff and see what I really like. Okay, so last night, I guess all the housewives and stuff the Sister Wives was on, by the way, last night, because I did my reaction to it today. So, all the housewives and stuff were not on this last week. And then I have like all my shows, it's just like they're on hiatus right now. Like Elsbeth, everything is on hiatus. Maybe Elsbeth will be on this week, but Matlock's not on for like, I think another 2 weeks or something. I don't know. But anyway, Alex and I had no shows to watch last night. So we were sitting there and, what was last night? I can't remember what he was watching. I was doing something at the computer, and he came down, and I was just getting ready to relax. And he's like, oh, he made some pizzas in the air fryer. He was like, I wanted some pizza. He's like, are you hungry? I was like, no. I wanted to walk last night. I didn't end up walking last night. My legs were really, really sore, so I was like, I think it'd just be better to take a day off. My legs feel pretty good today. The camera stopped. I really wanted to walk tonight, but now it's getting so late that I probably won't walk tonight. I mean, I'm not going to start walking at like 10 o'clock. Not that I haven't before, but I'm just not going to tonight. And I still have the 15 or 16 minutes left of the Christmas Tree Farm Mystery. I didn't read last night. I didn't listen to my audiobook. I didn't do anything. I just kind of like, in all honesty, a couple days ago, I was like, I have all these books that I want to read in January and starting next year. I was like, let's just settle on that you made it like to 47 for the year and just be good on that instead of trying to like, I always like try to rush at the end of the, year or whatever and get all this stuff done. And I'm like, let's just not do that. Like whatever books you're listening to right now, well, obviously the Christmas Tree Farm Mysteries, but I'm going to start the Paula Hawkins book next because I want to finish that because that was a November book for Peter's Book Club. So I'm going to start that next, but I'm like, I wanted to get it done before New Year's. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to rush and just sit out here and listen to 3 hours of a book. I'm just not going to do that just to say I got it done in time for the New Year's. So that book I'll carry over to New Year's. Go Ask Alice, I'll probably carry over for New Year's. I'm just not going to like rush it. I'm just going to just enjoy the process, I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid to feel like I got to get this done, I got to get this done. I always like, I don't know, I think that way. Somebody asked me the other day, like on a vlog, or they commented and they said something about like living in the now, which is interesting because it was a video before I talked about like my goal of last year, living in the now. I think one of the reasons why I struggle with that and always like wanting to do this and wanting to accomplish that and wanting to do this, even if it's small stuff, like getting the Christmas tree up or reading so many books or doing this, whatever. Like, I mean, okay, my goal for Goodreads next year is the biggest goal I've ever made on Goodreads. I'll just tell you that. So, like, I love doing, like, that stuff's fun for me, right? But I'm talking about where it's like, I want to get all these videos done by the end of the year, or I want to make sure that I hit 50 books. Well, what does it really matter? 50 books versus 47. I'll just carry them over to the next year. And then those will be some of the first books that'll add to my goal for next year. You know what I mean? So anyway, I think part of it is that I think it's one thing we don't really talk about with addiction. I think especially like getting so, well, I don't know that maybe it doesn't really matter what time, but when I got sober, I was 22 and a half. I was behind in college. I wasn't getting good grades. I really had like no work experience. I had no work experience. And so when I got sober, and then I went back, I took the first 6 months off, and then I went back to school and graduated like a year later, and then applied for my graduate. Okay, so I got sober. I don't remember what year I graduated with my master's degree, 98 or 99, I don't know. My degree is right in there. It's literally right in there on top of all this stuff. And it says on there, I think it's 98 or 99. But let's say if I started in 90, so it was 2 years. So I would have either started in 96 or 97. I mean, at the time I was like 4 years sober when I started my master's program. I can remember starting my master's program and like, whenever I would like meet people, like friends, especially like, when Alex and I got together and I started, like, we would go over to people's houses. And these would be people that were, like, my age or maybe, 3 or 4 years older for dinner. And they would have, like, $500,000, $1 million homes, and homes in, like, Florida and lake houses and stuff. And I'm just like, that is not my story. Like, I always felt like, and that's just from a financial point of view, two big things really happened to me that really changed my perspective on this was my 20-year high school reunion and this friend of mine that said something to me years later. I always felt like I was playing catch up. Like, always. Ever since I've gotten sober. I always felt like I'm very grateful. I hate the disease of addiction because it's taken so many people that I love. But at the same time, I'm so grateful. This is where people say that they're a grateful recovering alcoholic or addict. I'm so grateful for being an addict and an alcoholic because of everything I've learned from it. And because I wouldn't be who I am today had I not been, That being said, there's been so many times in my life that I've questioned what my life journey would look like differently if I hadn't been an addict and alcoholic. If fear hadn't ridden my life, would I have gone to a college campus? You know, if addiction wasn't anywhere in my, you know, my makeup whatsoever, and I wasn't an addict and alcoholic, you know, I wanted to go to fashion school. That was a huge thing for me. I mean, I know it's funny when I say that to people today, and they're like, oh, he's sitting in a trucker hat and a black shirt, like on his front porch. But, like, there are a lot of fashion designers that, like, are well-known their names that dress a lot funnier than me, okay? Like, that don't, you know what I'm saying? There's actually these two gay guys, they're a couple, and their clothes are absolutely beautiful, and they're literally, like, they're, like, these big, like, burly guys, and they only wear, like, flannel shirts, and their stuff is beautiful. But I really wanted to be, like, a fashion designer. Like, that was really my dream when I was in high school. You know, I was making clothes for my friends and stuff like that. Like, I really wanted to do that. Or I really wanted to be an author, you know, or go and get my, like, you know, master's in fine arts and, like, writing or something like that. You know, University of Iowa had a great writing program. I always dreamed of that. And I think, like, and not so much today, I wouldn't say. I think today I feel like you're where you're supposed to be, and it's because of these two things that happened to me. But back then, I felt like, I mean, after I got sober, before I got into the master's program for social work, I applied, like, at the IU writing program, the MFA program, I applied to it. And I can remember going down there and interviewing, and I just felt like, this is not for me. Like, this is not, like, do you ever have, like, a feeling, like, somebody told me years ago, try stuff that you want to do, and that's the easiest way to find out what you don't want to do. And I can remember sitting in the interview with that guy. Like, I got far enough to get an interview for the MFA program. I don't remember how, because my grades were so bad at undergraduate. I mean, I picked them up when I got sober, and they started getting better, but it wasn't, like, enough to repair, you know, 2 or 3 years of a mess. But I can remember sitting in that interview from that MFA program at IU. It was in Bloomington. I mean, I thought, I'll move to Bloomington and whatever. I mean, I went down there. I was like, I'll move to Bloomington, you know, whatever. And I remember seeing that interview, and I thought, this is not for me. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. That must have been like no, maybe not the summer after I got, because that was when I graduated a year after I got, was it a year after I can't remember when I graduated with my undergraduate degree, but it would have been like a year after I got sober. Well, it would have been like, yeah, a year and a half after I got sober. I feel like it was a year. I feel like I had enough credits that it was like a year. My grades were not great. I mean, I was surprised I even got into the MSW program. And so, my essay was really what got me into the MSW program. I just, like, shared everything about being sober and whatever. I remember it was like 25 pages. You had to write, like, this extensive thing and all this kind of stuff. But I feel like early on, I wouldn't say that every once in a while, I mean, not really so much anymore, but there was a long time that I would be like, if you had gone to a college campus, like, I would say, like, if I'd gone to a college campus and I had been, like, an active alcoholic and addict, I think that my story would have been this, I think I would have ended up in treatment. I think I would have ended up getting sober, probably, if I had gone to a campus, if I'd made it out, you know, alive. I think the addiction wouldn't have cared where I was. If I hadn't been an addict or an alcoholic, you know, like, if that sliding door had been different for me, what would my life have looked like? Would I have gone to a college campus? If I did, what would I have ended up studying? Who knows if I had gone to you know, maybe I would have studied, like, the School of, you know, Public Environmental Affairs and worked in a park. Doubtful. But, you know, maybe I would have done this. Maybe I would have ended up going to fashion school. Maybe I'd be in New York City right now, you know? Like, that doesn't really seem like it fits for me today. But, like, I had a lot of dreams of that kind of stuff when I was younger. And so I think there was a long part where after I got sober, I really questioned, like this, like, really took me off my road of where I was supposed to be. And to be honest with you, there was a part of me that felt pissed and felt cheated. Like, I had cheated myself out of what my destiny or what my journey could have been. And so I always felt like I was playing catch up, you know? The two moments that changed that for me was when Alex and I and my friend from high school went to our 20-year high school reunion. And now I went to that because I wanted this very Romy and Michelle high school reunion moment. I wanted to prove to those people that they hadn't gotten me down. Like, they hadn't ruined me. Like, that was why I wanted to show up. And in all honesty, I didn't even try. I think I had tried to lose some weight, but I was like I was running. I was in the best shape of my life. I looked good. And, Alex and I were having so much fun, and I can remember going there, and everybody just was so nice to me. I mean, so nice, so apologetic. People came up to me that I didn't even know and apologized to me. People were like, I can remember like sitting at this table, and people were like, oh, let me sit and talk to Peter for a little bit. People were so interested in Alex and I, and interested in me. And it wasn't like insincere, like they were trying to like go overboard to prove that they were like, okay, that I was gay. It was nothing like that. Like, they were like, oh my God, I see your pictures. You guys are always having so much fun. You guys are always going here and going there. And I can remember thinking to myself, we have like really no money whatsoever. We're just getting by. I mean, that was the point that we were like, had just gotten done paying debt off, this kind of stuff. It's like, we take trips, but they're not like these extravagant trips. Yeah, we have a lot of fun friends. And those are like when we were like going out and doing a lot of stuff. But it wasn't like, I don't know, people were just like, they were kind of like enthralled a little bit with like what I was taken back, And I was talking to people, and they were like executives in insurance companies, and they were like going to medical school, and they were doing this, and it didn't surprise me because like that's kind of what I thought some of those people would end up doing. I think what surprised me were the people that I kind of was like, I wouldn't say idolized, but that I looked up to in high school. That not the people that were mean to me, but I had some friends of mine that were like very, very artsy and very different, and like 20 years, like, they were not, like, at all. Like, I just was kind of blown away by it, and they were just like, I don't know, there was a sadness about it, and I can remember thinking to myself, your journey is your journey, like, don't compare it to somebody else's, right? Like, where you are right now, like, looks cool to somebody else. And I didn't even think at that time, like if you had asked me on any given, Wednesday or Sunday or whatever, if you had said to me, like, do you think you have a cool life? I'd be like, I have an okay life. I mean, Alex and I, we get up, we, go to brunch, we go out with our friends. Like, yeah, we have a good life, but like, no, it's something exciting. I mean, like, no, by no means do we have an exciting life. We don't have a lot of money. It was nothing like that. And so I think I was kind of surprised when I went to the high school reunion and people were like, so interested in me and asking me things and just like, I don't know, it just was kind of surprising to me. And that was like, I mean, it's just, we had a boring life, and people were interested in that. And like, I knew a lot of, people came up to me and they're like, oh my God, my friend so-and-so, she talks about you all the time. And I was like, oh, I went to high school with him. I was like, how do you know her? She's like, oh my God, we were friends in high school. Like, she went to another school, and like, and now you're friends with her, and she talks about you all the time, how much fun you and Alex are, blah, blah, blah. And, she always refers to you, the guys, this, and, Peter and Alex, and blah, 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 whatever. And I had several people that came up to me that night. I was like, I can remember saying to Alex and to my friend, like, well, my friend was kind of pissed because I was very forgiving of people that came up to me and apologized to me. And she like wanted to stay angry over stuff that happened 30 years ago. I was like, girl, I cannot live in that anger today. I just can't, And so I can remember like we went to afterwards to like this, out to this bar in Broader Bowl. It doesn't even exist anymore. And, Messaluna with a friend of ours, and she's our friend that lives in Las Vegas, and we had such a fun time. And I remember my friend from high school was like, oh my God, you guys have so much fun, and blah, 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 but we had so much fun that night. And I can remember saying to Alex, like, I didn't realize until I saw it from other people's perspectives, like, what a good life I have, I think sometimes, like, that's the taking your life for granted piece, is that you don't really, who's texting me? Nikki, you don't really know how good of a life you are until you see it, how good of a life you have until you see it through other people's perspective. So that the reunion completely changed everything for me, because I constantly felt like I should have $1 million home. I should have a lake house, which then you find out later, well, a lot of these people have $1 million homes because their parents put $200,000 or $300,000 into that house for them, or put a down payment on it, or the lake house was something that was passed down. Not all of them, but some of them, and our story was different. And I'm not saying that to shame somebody or whatever. More power to them. I'm glad that those people were able to have that, I also started learning that, like, years later when some of our friends went through horrible divorces, the secrets and the lies and the marriages and stuff like that, and that a lot of these people were way spending over what they had, you know, and then you would hear about these people's like financial issues. It just was sad to me, you know, it just was really sad to me. And that these were the people that I was comparing myself to, you know? It's like this illusion of social media, I think. Like, I hardly, like, ever... If you go look at my pictures, like, on social media, like, on Instagram, my pictures are not filtered. Like, I might put, like, the Paris filter or something on it, like, when you scan over or whatever. When we were in Ultra last year, I kept on using the Jakarta filter because I liked how it looked when I was, like, filming stuff, like, at night. But, like, other than that, like, I don't edit my pictures. Like, what you see is what you get. And I don't shame anybody that does. Like, I know people that edit their pictures and, like, they enjoy it and they do it. You know, if you want to edit yourself into a cartoon character, do it all day long if that's what makes you happy. But I think that we live in this world where, like, it's one of the reasons why I stopped. This is probably one of the best decisions I ever made, in all honesty. You know, I used to follow, like, all these influencers that I covered online, right? And they were living these, like, amazing lives. Had tons of money, were going all over the world. And then I followed, like, all of these, like, I followed, like, a lot of celebrities, the RuPaul's Drag Race girls, all this kind of stuff. And then and a lot of these, like, bearded guys that had these great bodies, and they're always, like, in Costa Rica or, you know, Mykonos and whatever. And it's like, every one of these pictures, it portrayed this life of, like, this unbelievable life, that every day was unbelievable like that, right? And so it was after the accident, I was sitting out here one day, and I was like, and I was following, like, things at people's homes that were just like, I mean, they look like show places. And I was like, this does not make me happy. This makes me feel less about myself. Like, this makes me feel like I'm never going to measure up, you know? I don't even know. I mean, I think I knew at that time that hardly a lot of, like, very little of that is real. It's all, like, contrived and faked and whatever. If you guys knew, like, so many people that I've talked about, or not talked about, well, some that I've talked about in my drama video, but talked to online, it's like, and I'll be like, oh, like, where are you, like, if I go out to dinner with my husband, and I post, like, a picture or something, you know, like, that's where we're at dinner, like, that's what we did, do you know what I mean, like, but I'll be like, I'll talk to somebody and I'll be like, oh, that hotel that you stayed at was so cool. And they'll be like, oh, I didn't stay there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, I was, you know, we were like, you know, down the street in some other hotel. It's kind of like trashy and, you know, but we knew this guy that was staying there. And so like we went in and I said, can I take a video and act like it's my hotel room? Like, why do people have the need to do that? I don't understand that, you know? I mean, like I said, if it makes you happy, do it. But like the fakery all of it is like, what that says is, you're not happy with what you have, then go get it if that's what you want. Then work hard enough to go get that, or be happy with what you have. It goes back to that prayer that I learned in early sobriety, help me to want what I already have. So sitting over there, you know, like months after the accident, and I just was rolling through Instagram, and all this stuff was just really making me unhappy that I was seeing. I just was like, this is not making me happy at all, you know? And so I just started unfollowing all those people. You know, there's like 2 gay couples that I still follow. There's like these guys that live in London. They both have like beards and stuff like that. And I love, like, they travel a lot. And but they're very down to earth. And they show like themselves with their families and stuff like that. And then the guys that live in like Tennessee, PJ, I can't even remember what his husband's name is, but they adopted like all the foster kids and stuff like that. They're real sweet. They're always doing like, they live on a farm. They did like, maybe they sold the farm. And they did the house redos. I think those are like the only like, other than friends of mine, like the gay like guys that I follow online. Like I don't follow like any influencers at all. I'm just not interested in it, you know? And then it's all like rescue animals and illustrators. And I can tell you that like my perspective on getting on Instagram has completely changed. I can remember back in the day I would get on it and I just would like get on there. I'd be like, I just felt like a potato with hair that had no life. Like it made me feel less about myself, you know? Instead of feeling better. It's one of the reasons, like, I'm not on Twitter. Like, my account is still up there. Every once in a while, like, I'll check it to see if anybody's messaged me, but hardly anybody else. Like, I'm not active on Twitter at all anymore. And it was, like, a conscious decision of mine because I would roll through Twitter to, like, look at stuff online. I can't even tell you the last time that I looked on Twitter for, like, an influencer tweet to do a video. I mean, if something came up, I would go over there and look at it. I'm not like that. But, like, I just was, like... Every time I would just like roll through Twitter, it was just like, I felt like people were shouting at me. If you have Twitter, you'll know what I'm talking about. I just felt like it was people so angry and so pissed off, rightfully so in a lot of situations about world issues, But I just felt like it was people that were so angry and everybody wanted their opinion heard and their opinion was right and blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't go over to Twitter anymore. I just don't, you know? And so I just don't do that. I just like Instagram, Goodreads. I go over there just to update my books because every time I go to Goodreads, I find more books that I want to read. I'll like roll through and I'll be like, oh, that looks good. So I don't try to go over to Goodreads a lot. I'll be honest with you, I don't get on social media as much as I used to. I mean, YouTube is social media, but other than that, I don't really like get on it a whole lot, you know, even Facebook. Instagram's probably the one that I like am on the most, but like my entire perspective has changed, you know, of like what I, you know, view on Instagram. It's like, I think, like, I unfollowed, like, and not because I dislike them or anything like that, but, like, I used to follow, like, a lot of the RuPaul's Drag Race girls, a lot of the housewives. I didn't need to know every detail of their life. Like, I still follow RuPaul's Drag Race because, like, it'll put up, like, when the show's coming out or updates about the show. I follow the Bravo accounts because I love to hear about, like, the drama that's going on. It keeps me updated, like, Traitors is coming out, all that kind of stuff. But, like, I like those Bravo accounts. But other than that, like, I don't, like, any of that kind of stuff, I don't really, that's about it. It's like dog stuff, motivational. Most of the motivational things that I reshare, I don't even follow those accounts. They just come up because I look at them so much on the algorithm. So the reunion was a really powerful changing moment for me because it was when I, like, looked at my life and I thought, I mean, I went into that reunion thinking, they're going to be like, what have you done with your life other than just stay sober? Like, and who's going to sit there and like that, you know what I mean? Like, to be honest with you, at that point, I didn't even feel like that was that crowning of a moment. Like, I was proud of my sobriety, but it wasn't like, yeah, I'm sober. What do? You know what I mean? Like, and I'll be honest with you, reunions, my 20-year reunion, my 10-year reunion, I did go to both of them. They were very much like that. Like, what do you do today? Like, what are you doing? Where are you at? Blah, blah, blah. They are very much like that. Reunions are that much like that. That one, as the night went on, got to be a little bit more fun and people didn't really care so much about that kind of stuff. But I thought, what am I going to tell people? Like, okay, fine, you didn't keep me down because I'm gay and I'm out, you know, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, but I haven't really done a whole lot that's that interesting, you know? And then to find out that people, like, I didn't realize, I don't know, I just didn't realize the things that people were interested in were so mundane. You know, they were so mundane. And so it wasn't like, I don't know, the things that people thought were really cool that they saw like Alex and I do, which were very real things, you know, like, but it was funny because I wasn't trying to make it look some way that it wasn't. It just was like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, I can remember that next day and being like, I have a really good life. And I don't have it to prove anything to anybody, you know? And I feel like, I think I went into that thinking like, where do I measure up with everybody else? Because I had felt like that for a long time. Like, where do I measure up? And then a friend of mine, years after that, said to me, when you compare your life to other people, you always lose by comparison. And I was like, damn, like that powerfully and profoundly impacted my life. When you compare your life to other people, you lose by comparison, you know? I mean, I had heard for years and years and years when people would say, in any given situation, there's always a million people that have it worse than you and a million people that have it better than you. And I think that that's a truism. I think we know that, right? But to say that when you compare yourself to somebody else that you're going to lose by comparison, I think that's so profound, right? Because anytime that I've ever compared myself to somebody else's life, it wasn't like I was comparing myself to them and being like, you know, if you compare yourself in work or even like, let's just take Goodreads for example, right? Like very rarely when I look through Goodreads do I look at somebody, and I don't even do this because I could care less. I'm like, but like if I see somebody and they like, you know, I'm just making this up, but like let's say if their goal was 40 books and they read one, right? I wouldn't be like, well damn, I did so much better than them. But if somebody had on there 200 books they read and their goal was 100, I'd be like, God, like I didn't do anything this year. I'd lose by comparison. See, you always lose by comparison because you don't look at, you always compare yourself to somebody that's doing better than you. It's typically what it is, right? And then I think what I learned through the reunion specifically was that my journey is so different than everybody else's. You know, my journey is never, which is my life is never going to look exactly like somebody else's. You know, I got sober at 22 and a half. I know people that I went to high school with that got sober at 40, you know? They're sober. I'm sober. We got sober at different times. So they had families. They had, wives and kids and stuff like that. I didn't have that before I got sober. Our lives are completely different. I still don't, we don't have kids. We're not going to have kids, but I'm married, but our lives look completely different. How can you compare those two lives? You can't. You can't at all. One's not better. One's not worse. It's just your life. It's just your journey, But I think that one of the reasons why I have such a hard time, living in the moment and just enjoying the moment, this is where I started a half an hour ago, and why I'm so fixated on wanting to get this done and wanting to get that done and wanting to do this and wanting to do that, is because I think it goes back to those months after I got sober where I felt like I was constantly playing catch up. I did. I can remember, talking to people, and they would be like, I'd be like, oh, what are you doing today? I'm in college classes, sober 4 months. And they'd be like, oh, well, I just got a promotion. I see somebody that I knew from back in the day. And they'd be like, oh, I just got a promotion at work and I bought my first house. I'm like, damn. I am behind. See, that's losing by comparison, right? Instead of looking at my life and being like, well, you're a lot better than you were 6 months ago, smoking crack, drinking a fifth day, sitting out there on the street, having nothing to offer to the world. I'm not even sure if you're going to wake up the next day or not. I never looked at it that way in early sobriety. I didn't, I always compared it to, I think it was maybe not early sobriety, but I'd say about a year was when I was like, I'm getting my life back. I think this is what was hard. When I started getting my life back and my life started looking better, and it still didn't measure up to people that had never gone through what I went through. You know what I mean? That it, I would compare myself to other people that maybe they drank, maybe they partied a little bit, but they still were successful in life. They still graduated. They had master's degrees. They were going to medical school or dental school or law school or working, moving up in the chain of work. They had families. They were buying their own houses. And I'm like, that is not me. What did I do? And I think and then I would beat myself up because I would be like, anything that you're pissed off about the condition of your life compared to other people, the battery just went to the halfway mark. Anything you're pissed off about the condition, I never thought I was going to talk about all this today. Anything you're pissed off about the condition of your life compared to somebody else's is your doing, nobody else's. And then I think I realized that then the undoing of that, right? The undoing of what you want your life to look like, and what do you want it to look like, and the happiness of it, and the gratitude, and the being, grateful for what you have, not for what you want, is, help me to want what I have, not what I want. Help me to want what I have. What's this prayer that my friend said? God, help me to want what I already have. Yeah, God, help me to want what I already have. The gratitude of wanting what you already have and being peaceful about that, is where the true happiness comes from. Not always. I think it's okay to have dreams and aim for things and whatever, but not to put your happiness on that. Not to put your happiness on, well, if I had this, then I would be happy. And I think things started changing for me over time. I think I stopped being like, well, if I had what they had. I mean, that's envy, right? I mean, recovery talked about the 7 deadly sins. But if I had what they had, and it wasn't really about them or they, it was just if I had more than I have now, then maybe that would equal success, and success would make me happy. But that's not true, We know that, I love this coat, but purchasing it did not make me happy. I think it stressed me out a little bit because I was like, okay, you said you weren't going to buy a coat, and then you spent all this damn money on this coat. I love this coat, but it doesn't make me happy, right? Things are not going to make me happy today. Spending time with people that I love, peace and serenity in my life, that makes me happy. Doing things that make me happy, experiences, that makes me happy. But I think that it took me a long time to figure that out. I think that's why when you look at life as this constant lesson that's evolving, and that you're never going to have it all figured out, even as we close our eyes for the very last time, we're not going to have it all figured out, then you can kind of go, and you can exhale and be like, I don't have to figure it all out at all. But I can be happy with where I'm at. I think it's still built in to my brain somewhere. You got to get all this done, get all this done. I think if anything, my vlog is testament to constantly working things out. It's interesting because, I feel like my vlog is me coming up with 10 ideas and doing one of them, right? And then being okay with not having done the other 9 and whatever. It's why I make the joke about the laziness, right? It's it's not even about that to me. It's not even about defending that. It's about working through that. Like, why do I feel like I need to do all 10 of those things, you know? Why do I feel like I still, like, have this list in my head at the end of the day? It's like, you didn't do this, and didn't do this, and didn't do this. And that would, if I had gotten that done, that I would be happier, or that I would feel more content in my life, you know? And I think that truly got some animal just came over there and, like, what was that? I wonder if it was like a cat or something. I don't think so. It looked bigger than a cat. Maybe it was a shadow. Only the shadow knows. But I think that's what it goes back to. I mean, I appreciate comments like that, because as you can see, it gets into my head and I think about it. So I appreciate the comment. I think that it goes back to me to those, like, that year or two mark of me being sober, when I started getting things back in my life and building things, and it still didn't look like what everybody else had. You know? And I had people like my mom and my dad and my stepmom saying, like, we're really proud of you. And it's like, it felt very much like, you know, when you get ready to go to school and your mom tells you how nice you look, and it's like, it's nice that your mom tells you that, but, like, you don't feel it inside. It's like, that's what it felt like to me. It's like, no matter, because they did tell me those things. I mean, the camera stopped. I mean, my dad's, the conversations that I have with my dad about the being proud of me and things like that is so interesting, because my mom would just, like, make blanket statements, you know, about, like, I'm just, like, so proud of you, blah, 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 whatever. And that would just kind of be it. My dad would say things to me like, and still does, like, do you look, like, I was talking to my mom's friend Susie today about celebrating 30 years sober. She's like, that is unbelievable. She's like, does it ever just, like, shock you? Like, I mean, it's been 30 years. I was like, oh, Susie, all the time. And I was like, what's so weird to me is that, to think that, like, if my mom was alive and she hadn't picked up, she'd be sober if she made it to then, you know, sober June 2nd would have been 30 years from my mom. My dad is very specific about the things that he's proud of me about. Like, my mom would just be like, I'm so proud of you for anything, because you're my son and I love you. I think that's kind of moms, you know? My dad is very specific about, like, I'm very proud of you for this. I'm very proud of you for that. Like, my dad's always been that. Like, very specific, very proud about specific things, which I think it's cool that both of my parents approached it in kind of, like, different ways. I don't know. My mom was just like, you know, like, my dad is like, I think I speak a little bit more like my dad in, like, in explaining things. Like, my dad, I mean, he has said to me, like Pete, he calls me Pete. He has said to me through the years, like, Pete, I'm proud of you. But, like, the conversation would go deeper than that. He'd be like, I mean, you know, at its worst, I never thought that I would be sitting here, you know, so many years later, even having a conversation with you on the phone. Like, I thought you would be gone, you know? And so I'm proud of you for all the hard work you've done, and that, you know, despite all the difficulties and blah, blah, blah. I mean, my dad is very specific about things, which is really cool, because what that says is, remember this as a parent, or as a friend, or as a spouse, okay? Is that what it means is that he remembers each of those specific things. My mom did too, but my mom just was somebody that, I love you, I'm proud of you, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I think, like, living my best life, I think this is what I kind of wanted to say. You know, I was talking about living my best life in my video yesterday. I think part of living my best life in 2025 is letting go of that need to check off all my box on a checklist of all the things I've done. The hard thing about that is, like, that's the undoing, right? Like, I've been that person for so long. I just think, like, for me sometimes, you know, why do I have a hard time living in the moment? Why do I have a hard time, you know, beating myself up for this? Or why do I have a hard time with that, or whatever? It's not so much to me necessarily. Okay, first I think it's about awareness, about being aware that you do that, or that's your personality, or that's how you respond to things or react to the world, right? I think the awareness is the first thing. The second thing is understanding why you are that way. And the third thing is changing it if you feel like you need to. Sometimes you might get to that point where you don't feel like you need to. For me, I think the last year and going into this year, like in therapy and inventory, has been really about understanding why I am the way that I am about certain things. You know, why have I lived in fear and worry for so long, you know? I saw this thing, I hope I screenshot it. I don't think I did. You know, I am big on the memes, right? Hold on a second. Did I screenshot this meme? Where was it? No, that was not it. Okay, TikTok, so I shared it on my Instagram story. Hold on, where is it at? Oh, please tell me that. I did not. Okay, When people go through traumatic experiences, they may start picturing the worst outcomes to protect themselves from future surprises. It's a defense mechanism, a way of staying safe and ready for anything because they are scared of being caught unaware again and left vulnerable. And I think, like, I've had so many traumatic experiences in my life. You know, the being bullied growing up was every day, but I didn't ever know when it was going to happen, you know? I didn't, and then people are like, oh, the bullying again. Well, that was my foundation years. I grew up in fear, right? So I never knew, like, when I went to school, is it going to be today or is it not going to be today? You know, is it going to be like, is this going to be a day where they leave me alone or is this going to be, you know? And so then after that, it was like, I dated some really shitty guys, one in particular, you know? And so I never knew. I mean, if you've been in a relationship that's toxic and unhealthy, you know what I'm talking about. You never know what, and I'd also grown up in an alcoholic home, right? So I never knew, like I've talked about this on here a lot, if I was walking into Little House on the Prairie or if I was walking into my mom being intoxicated. So I had to be prepared for anything at any given time. I also had to be prepared for anything at any given time walking to school. Okay? And then I get, you know, I'm out and I'm dating these guys that are not very nice to me, and in multiple different ways. A lot of it I haven't even shared on here before. And I never knew what I was walking into. Either I was going to be the most desirable, best thing in the entire world, or I was the biggest piece of shit loser in the entire world. I never knew what I was walking into. So you're talking about from like 5 years old, okay, now to like 21, I have my entire life maneuvered like, what am I walking into? Be prepared for anything. It's like, it's constantly like being so worried you don't ever know what you're going into, you know? And I think that's a lot of why, like, I learned that in the last year. Like, I have to, like, on some level, just be like, you know? We talk about in recovery that our addiction is found in 100 forms of fear. And it's like, at some point you have to say, but how do I choose to live my life? How do I take the power back? How do I empower myself? You know, it's like my sponsor used to say, 90% of the things you worry about are never going to happen anyway. And that's so true, you know? And so I think it's about living your best life is living true to yourself. But it's also about working through those things. To work through those things is understanding why they exist to begin with, you know? I don't know. I think a big part of me living in the moment in this last year was the moments, okay, like yesterday I shared moments where I lived in the moment, like when we were in Mexico dancing with Jesse and stuff like that and all that kind of, I mean, I've had so many moments in the last year where I just lived in the moment. Like at Ultra Music Festival, there was a moment where we were just like, there were several moments, we're just in the moment, like in the rainstorm, you know, it's pouring down rain and we're just like having so much fun. There's so many moments, you know, this year that I just lived in the moment with Boo Radley laying on the bed and stuff like that. Moments with Alex and Tanya and stuff. I think the lessons came in when I struggled to live in the moment. When I knew this is a moment to live in and I just couldn't for some reason. I think that's where the real lessons came. When I would take those things to my therapist or to my sponsor and be like, I don't know what's going on with me right now. Like, I don't know why I'm so distracted that I can't just live in the moment. That was where I truly started to understand it. You know, when people say things like, just live in the moment. Okay, well, I would do that easily if you could teach me how easily to do that, you know? I mean, we all have our own, like, thing that's hard for us to do. You know, it's like, when people say that, like, oh, you just live in the moment, you know, or just be spontaneous, or just live life. It's like, okay, well, it must be easy for you, but that doesn't mean it's easy for me. What's your difficult thing? Just do it. You know, don't you hate that when people say to you, just do this? It's like, it's not that easy. You know, but I'm not resistant to the work today. I want to do the work. This is where I talk about, like, when you work through stuff, I think when I work through stuff, I can only speak for myself, I guess. I'm a happier version of myself because I have better understanding of why I acted in a different way, why I'm changing, why I'm growing, and who I'm changing and growing into. But I understand the whole process. I can see the whole thing, right? It's like if you play a sport, and you can remember your first time, like I played tennis, right? Like I can remember my first early days of like hitting the ball, and I hit it into the net, I wasn't very good, you know, and stuff like that. And then, I mean, anyway, I played so much tennis that, like, if you looked at me, like, when I was, like, 16 versus when I was, like, 5 when I started, okay? Like, you can tell the progress. You can see the progress. You can be proud of the progress, and you can enjoy a game of tennis in a way that I wouldn't have enjoyed it at 5 years old because it was all, like, learning and teaching. I'm ready to get out of the lesson and just play the game of tennis is where I'm at with it, right? So, I don't know. Part of that for me is, like, I will always make lists. I know that. I would never get on here and be like, I'm not going to make lists anymore. I probably have said that at some point or another, you know? I say things and the next day change my mind. But, like, I will never not make lists. Lists make sense to me. And I enjoy lists. Like, Alex always, like, when we're at dinner with people, he'll be like, we'll be talking about TV shows, and Alex will be like, yeah, Peter keeps a list of, like, all the TV shows he watches in a year. And they're like, do you really? And I'll be like, yeah, you want to see it? And I'll pull it up, and all the true crime, all the movies I want to watch, all the videos I'm going to make. I'm a list keeper. That's what I do. I'll always be that. But maybe not. You know, when I worked in treatment, I've shared this story before, I would keep a list every single day of, like, all the things I had to do. And then the things I didn't get done, I would carry over to my list the next day when I made my list for the next day. I still do that, but there's an internal part of me that beats myself up. Like, I filmed a lot today. I mean, sit and talk to a camera for 6 straight hours. I love it, but try it, okay? I'm just telling you, just try it one day. Just talk into a camera for 6 straight hours for one day, okay? Just try it, I'm telling you. Or for an hour straight. No jump cuts, no stops, nothing. Just talk. I mean, one of my videos today was 50 minutes long. And I turned around and I did I did the 40-minute video, and then I turned around and did a 50-minute. That's like an hour and a half. I'm just talking to a camera. Like, I mean, I've literally been talking for an hour and 10 minutes right now. I mean, this is easy. It's not like, I'm not saying this job is difficult. This is not difficult. And I enjoy this. I love every minute of this, right? But it's like, at some point, it's like, you want to do all this stuff and fit all this stuff in a day, and before you look at it, you look in the clock, it's 9:23, and you're like, where'd the day go? And I wanted to film a review video, I want to do this. I gotta get away, and there's like, I do really good for like 2 or 3 days, and then I get back into it again, right? And I have to understand why I get back into it, because, like, beating myself up about, well, you didn't do the review video. The stuff's sitting on the counter, you wrote it on your list. It would have taken you 15 minutes to do. That was 15 minutes, you could have done that today, right? But it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, you know? It doesn't really matter. Did I have fun today filming videos? I had so much fun filming videos today, you know? So I have to get away from that a little bit. But I think that it's about learning all these lessons together and putting them together, and then putting that and living my best life ever, you know? Like, not comparing myself to other people. I'm pretty good about that today. I'm pretty good about not comparing my life to other people and knowing that my journey is specific to me. My journey's not even the same as my husband's. His journey's going to look completely different than mine. I'm pretty good at that today. Oh my God, the battery died and I didn't even realize it, and I just kept on talking and talking and talking because I can't really see where it's like says record. I can't really see it without my reading glasses on, and so the camera stopped, and then all of a sudden it was just like went dark, because it doesn't like go dark right away until it's been like a minute, and so I just like was talking to this camera that wasn't even recording. Anyway, and then I went inside. As soon as I stood up, I was like, my lower back hurt so bad from like walking those 2 long days in a row. And I stood up and I was like, oh my God, sitting in that, I'm like sitting forward. I'm not like sitting back in this chair. I'm like sitting forward. Sitting forward in this chair, just like all of a sudden I was like, this is like, I am in pain. But anyway, so I came back out here, and it's like, what's so funny about it is this whole front porch, when I just went off about these candles the other day, smells like, oh, you know what? I bet it is. Oh, I know why. It smells like these our own candle companies. But it's, okay, this is a triple. So it must have got past the first one, because now it smells like banana bread. So, see, it just burnt down past the first one, and now it's getting to the second one. That must be why it smells all of a sudden. So, anyway. But before the camera died, I like went back and looked, and I was talking about, I think I do a pretty good job today of some of the lessons I've learned in the last, let's say, 30 years. I don't know what it looks like to live my best life. I'm trying to figure that out. Figuring that out will help me live my best life in the next year, but I'll be learning it as I live it, if that makes sense. I'm still learning to live in the present moment. I think part of that is not living in my list so much, but the lists give me structure, and so I enjoy the list a little bit. But I think it's with anything, it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. As much enjoyment as like I said, I'm not going to stop making lists, but I think I have to get away from, like, I can remember like leaving work and like just like having like 5 or 6 of the things I didn't get done that day, I just put on my list for the next day. I have to have that same mentality with filming videos. Like, if you didn't film these videos, like maybe 3 days in a row you film 7 videos, and 3 days in a row you film no videos. And that's okay, you know? And that's okay. Maybe today you just read a book all day long, and that's okay, you know? And not beat myself up about it. But like, even when I just film my vlog, and I know I'm just gonna film my vlog, it's not just with YouTube stuff. I just wanna make that clear. It's like, you didn't change the sheets today, you didn't do the laundry today, you didn't do this. It's like, I always feel like I'm wasting time. I think that's part of it, as like, with my mom having passed so young at 64, well, I think it's young, you know, my mom passing at 64, having lost so many friends of mine, and things like that, I feel like, I don't want to waste time, you know, and so it's like constantly filling time, which is why, like, when I finally, like, sit down at night to watch my shows, that's when I kind of, like, whew, I can fully, you know, I can fully enjoy the moment. But I'm not great yet at living in the moment. I'm still learning that. I think I learned it a lot this year, and I practiced it a lot this year. So, I don't know, give me another year, and we'll see where I'm at. I'll probably be better than I was, you know, at the end of this year. Living my best life, one of the reasons why that's my goal is to practice it and to understand it and to understand what living my best life looks like. And I hope at the end of next year I'll be able to get on here and say, because there will be another year, and then that will be my 10th year next year. Next year on this date we'll be coming into the 10th year of vlogging. But you know, and then I hope next year at this time I'll understand, maybe even a lot sooner than that, I hope, understand what living my best life looks like. And I hope that I'll know it when I feel it. Like, I'll like be in a moment where I'm living my best life, and I'll be like, I'm in it right now. Like, this is what it feels like when you're living your best life, you know? I think I'm pretty good today at not comparing myself to others. I don't really do that today. To be honest with you, I think I got to a point where I did it so much that then it kind of flipped, and I was like, what's the point? It doesn't achieve anything. It doesn't change anything. It was like my friend I was talking to the other night that said, a week ago or something, she always thought she was supposed to do something important. And I said, what's not important about being a mom, raising your family, having a nice home? Like, what's not important about that? Like, that's comparing yourself to what you think is important, right? What is it you think is important? And if that's something you want to do, go out and do it. You know, go out and do what you think is important, if that's going to make you happy. But don't just do it because you think that you should be doing something that you deem as important. Maybe take a look at why what you are doing you don't deem as important, you know? Or makes you happy. Those are the questions to ask. There's so much understanding that comes from doing the work of not understanding. So I don't really compare myself to other people today, you know? As much as I used to. I think the hardest piece for me in not comparing myself is body image. I think that's the last piece that I mean, financially I don't compare myself to other people. What other people have, what they do. I think my attitude has changed about that. I'm like, if I want $1 million home, work hard enough to have $1 million home. And I don't even want $1 million home today. I think when I see like friends of mine travel, I'm like, well then travel. If you want to travel more, schedule, you know, plan more trips with you and Alex, travel more, do the things that you want to do. I think when I see like material things like that or trips or whatever, that's my attitude about it. Save more money, work harder, do what you want to do to have those things, if you can, you know? Or really evaluate how important those things really are to you to begin with. Are they really that important? How happy are they really going to make you in the long run? You know, like trips do make me happy. You know, having some huge house, that would not make me happy. But I think I got to the point where I was just like, what is the point in comparing myself to other people, you know? Even when it came to like other people having other opportunities, you know, like I can remember that 20 years ago, other people getting other opportunities, and I'd be like, I don't understand why I'm not getting this opportunity. And I think I got to the point where I just was like, well, that's not my journey. My journey's not supposed to, I'm not supposed to have that opportunity, you know? And I also think that I've had enough things happen in my life. You know, you have enough life experience where you get to a point, if you're closer to my age, or, you know, my age or older, or maybe a little bit younger, you'll get this. I think you have enough things that happen in your life that you wanted to turn out a certain way and it didn't, and you were really upset and hurt at that time, right? Like you really wanted this job, or you really wanted this opportunity, or this relationship, and it didn't happen, right? And then you look back in retrospect and you go, thank God it didn't, right? Like, thank God I didn't get that job or have that opportunity or that relationship didn't work, because in retrospect, I don't think I wanted it as bad as I did. Or me not getting that or having that relationship, job opportunity, experience, or whatever, opened doors for me to have other things that I wouldn't have had those things worked out for me. And that's where I think it's such a cool thing. Like, I know people hate the word journey, but I think life is a journey, right? And I think it's like, because it's like this magical journey that you're on, like, trying, in life, just like, it's like when you look at it that way, and all the eccentric cool characters that you're going to meet along the way, that they are on their own journey. They're on their own, like, experiential path and all this kind of stuff. And all these different cool characters you're going to meet along the way, and all the different experiences you're going to have, even if it's just at the gas station, getting a fountain pop. You might meet some fun characters in there, that tomorrow you might meet the best friend you've never had in your entire life, Or you might tomorrow experience something that will forever change the way that you look at things in life. Well, that's a pretty cool way to look at life. And I think at some point I stopped comparing myself to people because I thought, you're supposed to go through what you're supposed to go through. I think that's a spiritual thing for me. I'm supposed to go through what I'm supposed to go through. They're supposed to go through what they're supposed to go through, and it's not supposed to look the same. I'm pretty good about not comparing myself today. I don't even really so much feel like I'm still playing catch up. Like, that's a thing from a long time ago. I still think it's ingrained in who I am, I still think it's ingrained in who I am. Not necessarily, I don't think that trying to get so much stuff done in a day is playing catch up. I think I feel like I'm wasting time, if that makes sense, like, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like, well, you're wasting time. Like, I want to be more like, if you want to take 3 days off and just read a book, do it. Those are the things, like, this is going to sound crazy, but those are the things that I get jealous of today, I know people are like, Peter, you watch so many shows and lists. I do, but I really arrange it around a schedule of doing a lot of stuff, and I know it probably doesn't seem that way. It's just like, oh, all he does is sit in the house and watch TV, but that's just not the case. I mean, since I've been out here, my husband's watched probably 2 episodes of Gossip Girl. It's like, sometimes I'll talk to a friend and I'll be like, what did you, like, I'll talk to Tanya, and I'll be like, what did you do? And she'll be like, well, I didn't have to work today. And I'll be like, what did you do? And she'll be like, well, I got up and I made myself some breakfast, and then I literally laid on the couch from like 9 until like 4, and I just read a book. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Well, I could do that. I could do that any day of the week. I don't do that. I need to do more of that. I need to take more of being like, today I'm just going to read a book. Today I'm going to binge watch a show. I think those are some of the things. I think I'm afraid that if I do it for like a day or two, then it'll be harder for me to like come back to regular, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I think that's sometimes why I'm like, I gotta keep it up, I gotta keep it up, and I gotta keep it up. I don't know, I gotta stop stressing myself out so much. It's, another thing that somebody has said to me, a couple people have said it to me not too long ago, I just want to make this clear, is they said, you overthink things, you are constantly in your head. Okay, this vlog is literally, from its inception, me thinking out loud. That's what this vlog is. It's me sharing my experiences. It's just me thinking about, sharing out loud what's going on in my head. And, so many times when I get done vlogging, it was funny because the other day I said, I don't think this was probably making any sense to anybody. And a couple people were like, oh my God, this made total sense. I loved the stream of consciousness, vlog that you did. But it didn't feel like it made a whole lot of sense to me, but when I read that comment, it meant a lot to me. I can't tell you how many times I get done vlogging. Like, I think I'll get done with this vlogging today, and me, even though I've talked about so many other things that have nothing to do with me living my best life, I think it's going to help me focus on what that really looks like for me going into 2025. Like, I'm really, like, yesterday I came up with that was going to be my goal. And now I'm really, like, focused on that. I think this vlog has really helped me today look at, like, all the things I've learned along the way, how they've contributed. I mean, I could list 20, I actually did a whole, like, outlined a whole video that I wanted to do of all the, like, the top 10 lessons I learned this year. I didn't do it. So I might do that next week, or maybe I'll share it in a vlog or something like that. But, I mean, I think we're always going to learn things in life. I say to Tanya sometimes, see, I made this cup of coffee and look where we are in it. I say to Tanya sometimes, I wish I could just hit the pause button and stop thinking so much about stuff, And I just don't think I'm wired that way. I just don't, My parents aren't really wired that way. Both my mom and my dad are like, they think constantly about stuff. But I don't know, it has its pros and its cons. So last night, I watched Sister Wives, and I took notes. So that was a long conversation, wasn't it? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Lead me, oh wise one. Give me some introspection to all that I can for their take on. But last night, I took a nap, slept really deep, but I woke up and I felt like real super shaky. Super shaky. Got kind of like a slow start, getting to watch my shows and stuff like that. Talked to Tanya last night, talked to Nikki last night. And then I was like, okay, I gotta watch Sister Wives, so I want to take notes on it. So I watched Sister Wives and I took notes. And had a really fun time watching Sister Wives last night. Sometimes I get caught up so much in taking the notes that I don't really enjoy it. But last night was kind of like, I had a fun time watching Sister Wives. It was real fun. And then I wanted to go in and I wanted to watch The Head. So when I got done with Sister Wives, I went in and I watched The Head, Season 2. Season 2 is just as good, if not better, than Season 1. I will just tell you that right now. And I watched Season 2, Episode 3. I was on Episode 3. Episode 3, 4, and 5. And then 6 is the last one. So I started 6 last night, and I literally, as soon as like it got past like the production company and stuff and it started, I just hit pause. So I've got the 6th one to watch tonight. So I think that's the only thing I'll be watching tonight. But I don't know what time I'll watch. I probably will vlog and then watch that while it's like uploading and stuff. That's it. And probably read a little bit of Go Ask Alice tonight and just relax. And then spend tomorrow with my husband, with my hubs. Spend tomorrow with my husband. I'm real excited about this wedding. I think it'll be really fun. And I'll be honest with you. Like, I feel like I've seen so many friends of mine that have been like, 2024. 2024 was the worst year ever. And, you know, some really great things happen in 2024 and some really sad things happen in 2024. And, I think that that's kind of just how life is a little bit, you know? I think the takeaway for me is I'm still here. Who am I compared to who I was at the start of the year? I mean, weight-wise, we know I'm the same weight, okay, pretty much. But I think that from my maintenance and my weight loss journey videos, there's a, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. Like how I feel different today than I did a year ago. I feel lighter. I feel lighter a year ago than I did. I feel lighter now than I did a year ago. For many different reasons. So I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, a lot of things have changed in the last year. My perspective has changed on a lot of different things. Yeah. And I think that's each year, don't you? Like, you grow and you change each year. I don't know. It's like, even when, like, so much, like, shitty things happen in a year, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not who I was a year ago, but I'm not who I was 5 years ago, and I'm definitely not who I was a month ago or 6 months ago. We change. We constantly are changing. It's like the movie Texasville. I love that line. That movie when Annie Potts is in the bedroom and, you know, Jeff Bridges, it's the sequel to The Last Picture Show, and Jeff Bridges comes in the room and he goes, something's different about you. And she says, that's the thing about men, you don't notice at all, but women change. We might change 30, 50 times a day. She says something like that, and she goes, and you don't even notice it. You know, I think that's true of humans, is I think we are constantly changing and evolving. We're not even the same person that we were yesterday. Thank God for that, right? Thank God for that. I think it's recognizing the change, understanding the change, and working through, you know, and understanding the lessons and the teachings that come along with that, of how can I continue to grow and change and be a different person. I don't know. I need that big pause button where I can just stop thinking about stuff. So I'm going to stop thinking about things right now. I'm going to get off here. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Monday and a fantastic beginning to your week. I will be here tomorrow for the last day. I'm going to film it tonight and have it up for ready to go tomorrow. If you guys would like that up earlier rather than later for New Year's Eve, let me know. I can post it at any time tomorrow. So let me know in the comment section below. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to... I won't be wearing this coat later, or maybe I will. I don't know, this coat's pretty comfortable just to sit here. But anyway, it's like big. It's a big coat. It's a big coat. Anyway, Did I already say? Yeah, if nobody else has told you this today, I already said this, didn't I? I love you. We could always hear it twice, you know? And I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. See you then. Is that what I usually... I don't even know what I say anymore. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to my rambles tonight. You helped me more than you know. You really did. So this is like my daily journal every day. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.